Hi YouTube, this is Jilly. Hi, my name is Jilly. I'm a spiritual and meditative artist and I draw every day. And I also love to paint. So I have a room that I have a bunch of my painting stuff in. Some different paintings by anonymous people and then some of mine. Put my first dollar bill in there and a couple of other little things I had done a while ago. And hi, if you don't know me, my name is Jilly. I'm an artist. I had done some pictures probably, I'd say like 5 years ago, of a line of different like kids pictures about being your own excellent self, your own personal excellence, what that means to you. And I hid little E's in all of the pictures, and I did go to a toy store and they said they didn't think it was the right fit for them, and they were very gracious about saying no thank you, but I did save some of them because I like them and it reminds me of being my own excellent self. And it also reminds me that sometimes when someone says no, you just handle it and move forward. So that's what I did. And I am my own excellent self. And I have a podcast called Jilly's Art. And this morning I talked about consistency. So today I'm going to show, oh look, I'm growing a plant and it's growing. I'm going to have to repot it soon. I keep saying that, but I thought I'd bring it in and have it be part of our YouTube today because I love it. And I was washing dishes and it started like coming over and like coming into my face. So now it's like circling back around again because the leaves are getting long. It's 4 different types of flowers. I saved the packets. So I'm growing them inside because every time I grow flowers outside, little critters get to my new buds, my new flowers. And I had that happen years ago too when I did tomato plants and all kinds of stuff. I learned how to kind of do some peat pots in the house. So today I'm going to be doing part 3 maybe of my green ink that I've been making. So this is my little glass jar, and I think that the ink, it looks green at the bottom, but it's really not as green as I thought it would be. I mean, it's oxidizing, the water's changing. It's my first time doing it. I did it with leaves from the backyard. I have a feeling peppermint leaves will be better, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. But here's my little painting I started, and I accidentally touched the corner that had the coffee ink on it, and it's still really sticky. The weather's been a little bit humid, so the humidity of the weather does change the coffee paint, how it dries, so that's a little sticky. But I'm going to do this right on camera because I've been doing a lot of my experimentation on camera, so I don't even know. I haven't touched my green paint ink in a few days. It's evaporated, and I'm using a really nice what's this called, a Winsor Newton. Oh, the light in here is not really that great. Let's see. Can you get it? Can we get it? There we go. Winsor Newton. I'm not sponsored by the company, but I'd love to be. Let's see if I can read this. My eyes are still not so bad. Winsor Newton Filbert. Bomb bee. It's funny because I love bees, and I have here's my little bee painting that I did with coffee. I did a tutorial on that on YouTube about how to paint a bee, and it's dry. And I think I varnished it too. I'm not sure. It could maybe always use a second coat of light varnish, and I did the gem. But everything that I've been doing lately has an association with bees, so it shouldn't surprise me that this is called a bomb. It's probably Bombay, but it looks like it says bomb bee. Maybe I'm wanting it to say bomb bee, but I don't know what that means. I'll look it up. This was a gift. So it's a nice fluffy brush. Looks like a watercolor brush. So I will not use it for oil paint. Now I haven't really been oil painting that much, but so here we go. I'm going to dip it into, my bumblebee music for my quick little YouTube I made today is this really quick techno music, and it's like, I am the bumblebee, blah blah blah. And so my YouTube, my short YouTube that's had over 1,000 looks at it, has that little bumblebee song, so it's kind of fun. You can look up music and you can put it to videos, and I've been doing that. So here's my little green ink. Doesn't look, I keep trying to think of a way I can make it thicker, but I've really wanted to be really natural about this, not really mess too much with the formula. I don't know if anyone's been following me, but I used salt and a little tiny bit of dish soap. So what this seems to be doing is kind of lifting the color that I had on there. It's not really depositing much green. I don't want to leave it out too much because a little tiny bugs flying around. So I've been a little careful with creating a little bug sanctuary from this. So I say one step at a time. It does look to be a little bit greener, but not really a lot if I kind of rinse the brush off and don't get the green bits at the bottom. Let's see what it looks like on the canvas. Yeah, it's got a little pigmentation to it. And I think that in a way, I would say the experiment has been successful. There are little grains of the leaf, which I didn't strain out as well as I could have on a cheesecloth, but that's okay because this is all just an experiment. I could always wipe those off too. So I'm not really being ultra picky. I'm not looking for a finished product right now. I'm just doing this as an experiment. But when I start out with a canvas, and it's a canvas that I buy, so it's white, you know, toning the background is something that sometimes I do, sometimes I don't do. And I find with the coffee paint, toning the background of the canvas has gotten really easy because I just swipe my brush in my coffee ink that I have on hand, that I you know, put the brush in water, and then I go back and forth in my ink, and then I can just go all over the canvas really fast, especially if I pencil something in first or draw it in, or I want to go back in with a thin brush. I have some really nice thin brushes here that I put some paint on. Usually I've been using kind of like a charcoaly color, and then I'll go and kind of paint in what the outline of what I want, like a reference point of what I want to paint. I did it in pen with this bee in the crown. And see, like this deer back here, kind of more of like a what do they call it, a bust of a deer that I had done just as a think piece. I did that with pen. You can see the pen marks. And then I go back in. I might have even used like a brown marker on this, or maybe even some coffee paint. I don't remember. It was a while ago that I did this. And I like it, so I leave it in here. Sometimes when I have my pieces that aren't, you know, that aren't something that I'm going to be giving to people or having at my craft fair, I just keep them. And I love like the rawness of this, how I mixed up all the colors on the canvas and it's all messy. See, that's what I like. I like the ones that nobody wants, right? The think pieces, and that almost looks like a tree. Now you see it mixed in with my leaf, so it's kind of fun to have that. But I think for right now with my experiment, I will say yes, my experiment worked with my green leaf paint. I would say it's more of like a background hue color, not so much of a paint, but it could be used to tone my canvas. And when the time is right, I will do the peppermint one and see if that works. My theory is that the oils from the peppermint leaf will create a thicker green paint. And then I've got a watercolor pencil here. I've had these same watercolor pencils for years, and I'm going to deposit a little bit of color because why not, right? So I took this color out. It was just kind of staring at me. So I thought, okay, I'll use it. I'll throw it in here. So see, the green ink is on here. Now the green ink is kind of turning greener. So sometimes when you add a color to another color, it brings out color. So that's kind of cool too. I don't really want the leaves to be aqua, but it was a color that was right on hand right here. So just kind of, I think I've explained too, I'm holding my phone. So drawing and holding the phone is a little bit awkward, but I'm getting used to it. Could be worse things. And I actually drew this drawing from this picture. So when I'm growing, I'm drawing. Kind of cool. So let's take our little pointy brush, put it in our green ink, and then we'll go back in with this watercolor pencil. I wasn't really expecting to be painting, but you know what? It is my passion. It's my consistency. It's my life's consistency. I draw and paint daily, so why wouldn't I paint? Silly me. Okay, so kind of liking that. And it's so nice, I think, as an artist when we produce something that we actually like too. And colors are different. This is a little different for me, I'll say. I'm always willing to learn, always willing to try something new. And one of the things I remember when I took a lot of art classes was that I was a bit heavy-handed with my work, meaning like if I put paint on, I'd put a lot of paint on. If I drew a particular line, I was really going in really heavy-handed, and over the years I've worked on lightening up with that heavy-handedness, and just trying to let it all kind of glide around. And it does create different lines when you do that. So distribute some color over here. I've been doing the sides of my canvas too. It's interesting, the other day I was doing something and I didn't have a radio going, I didn't have any background music. It was very, very quiet. And I thought, I remember when I was a kid, I would go to visit relatives and, ooh, I just found another little watercolor pencil here. Copper Beach? Let's incorporate this one in. I don't even remember having this. So, but I remember going to visit relatives and thinking, because they had those old clocks, you know, they'd go tick, 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 and I remember thinking, their house is so quiet. Why? But now I kind of get it. Like I'm finding I'm doing it. I'm liking it. It's thinking time. It's just kind of nice to paint in the quiet. Not to say I don't like to put music on once in a while, because I do, or a background YouTube. I was listening to Prepper Princess this morning. And my friend Mimi from Gaia Blooming. I always listen to her, watch her, see what the tempo is going on in the astrology world. And I like to watch a lot of movies and stuff too. So, but you know, now I'm starting to overpaint a little bit and kind of mess it up. And that's not really what I want to do. So I'm going to grab another brush, soft, clean, dry brush, and I'm just going to go in here and lift some of that paint out. See how easy that is? And then you can kind of deposit the color like in another section. So this might just be something that I slowly, maybe this will be my therapeutic painting that I do and see what happens. But it's not so bad. Let's see, we'll stand it up in front of the plant maybe. Next to the bumblebee. We could use a little bit of work, but it's fun. I really wanted to show the ink, the green ink paint. So I think the experiment worked, but I think it's more of a toning background color. And I mean, you can see some of the deposit of the darker green there, but I'm stretching it a little bit with saying that. But it is there. And when it dries, sometimes the color will come out more too. Like with this bee painting, I used the coffee ink, and you can see the hue of the coffee ink once it dried on the painting. So some of it came out a little darker than I even expected it to. So I'll give it a chance to dry. Like a little fairyland over here. So this is really fun. I hope people are enjoying watching my YouTubes. And I am not somebody who really does a lot of, pre-preparing for my YouTubes. I really want to keep what I'm doing, that you're going along the ride with me. So it's kind of fun. And there he is. And there she is. She's being her excellent best. She's doing her best. And the consistency that I talked about on my Jilly's Art podcast on Spotify is really something that I've been working on, keeping consistent, keeping that daily activity going, and so that you can create having some fun. And I did put together a lot of my stuff for my Christmas in July booth. I would say I'm pretty much done and packed up. I didn't want to pack it up too soon because I wanted all the crocheting stuff to be nice and fresh when I packed it up. So you don't want to pack things up for a long time. They get stuffy. So, ready to go. What do you think, people? Anybody want to make a comment? Love, love, Jilly.